The arrival. The vast emptiness of space shimmered as the Zarkai fleet dropped out of hyperspace near Earth's orbit. Admiral Krelivor stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Celestial Hammer, his 4 eyes narrowing as he gazed at the blue planet below. The Admiral's iridescent scales rippled with anticipation. Another primitive world, Krelivor muttered, mandibles clicking in disdain. Prepare the initial scan. His crew, a mix of various reptilian species from across the Zarkai Empire, hurried to obey. Holograms flickered to life, displaying streams of data about Earth and its inhabitants. Curious, said Science Officer Zix, her elongated fingers dancing over the controls. The dominant species appears to be in the early stages of space exploration. They've barely touched their own moon. Krelvor's secondary eyes blinked in amusement. Hardly a challenge then. This conquest will be swift. As the Zarkai fleet hung in space, undetected by Earth's primitive sensors, humanity went about its day, unaware of the looming threat. In New York, Dr. Sarah Chen rushed through busy streets, her mind focused on the presentation she was about to give at the United Nations. Sarah burst into the UN building, her heart racing. She dedicated her life to the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, and today she would finally be heard. As she set up her equipment, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that something momentous was about to happen. "Ladies and gentlemen," she began, her voice steady despite her nerves, "I believe we are on the cusp of first contact." Murmurs rippled through the assembly. Sarah took a deep breath and continued, "Our deep space telescopes have detected anomalies that can only be explained by the presence of advanced technology. We are not alone, and we need to be prepared." In orbit, Krelvor watched the planet with growing interest. These humans seem more varied than we anticipated. Their technology is primitive, yet I sense potential. Zix nodded, her scales shimmering with excitement. Their communications networks are extensive. They appear to value the spread of information. "Information that will soon be ours," Krelvor said. "Prepare the first wave. We'll start with their largest population centers." As Sarah finished her presentation, a commotion erupted outside the UN building. People pointed at the sky, their faces a mix of awe and fear. Sarah rushed to the window, her heart pounding. There, descending through the clouds, were massive ships unlike anything humanity had ever seen. "It's happening," Sarah whispered, her voice a mix of excitement and dread. "They're here." Panic spread through New York as the Zarkai ships appeared over major cities worldwide. Military jets scrambled to intercept, but their weapons proved useless against the aliens' advanced shields. In the White House Situation Room, President Evelyn Crawford stared at the screens in disbelief. "Get me in contact with these aliens," she ordered, her voice tense but controlled. As chaos erupted on Earth, Krelvor prepared to address the humans. His image appeared on screens across the globe, his alien features causing gasps of shock. "People of Earth," Krelvor began, his words translated into every major language. "I am Admiral Krelvor of the Zarkai Empire. Your planet now belongs to us. Resistance is futile. Submit, and you may live as subjects of our glorious empire." In the UN, Sarah listened to the transmission with growing horror. She turned to the assembled delegates, her mind racing. "We can't give up," she said, her voice rising with determination. "Humanity has faced insurmountable odds before. We've survived ice ages, plagues, and our own destructive tendencies. We can survive this too." As Krelvor's ultimatum echoed across the planet, humanity's response was not what the Zarkai expected. Instead of immediate surrender, pockets of resistance began to form. In New York, Sarah quickly found herself at the center of a hastily assembled think tank, tasked with finding weaknesses in the alien technology. Meanwhile, in a small town in the Midwest, former Army Ranger Jack Harper watched the alien ships with narrowed eyes. "They may have fancy tech," he muttered, "but they don't know what humans are capable of when our backs are against the wall." Jack began organizing local veterans and civilians into a resistance cell. Similar groups sprouted across the globe, sharing information and resources through encrypted channels. On the Celestial Hammer, Krelvor frowned at the reports coming in. "They're not surrendering as expected," he growled. "Commence the first strike. Show them the consequences of defiance." Zarkai weapons lanced down from the sky, targeting military installations and government buildings. The world watched in horror as symbols of human power crumbled under the alien assault. But even as fear gripped the planet, something else began to stir in the hearts of humanity. A fierce determination, a refusal to go quietly into the night. In her makeshift lab, Sarah worked tirelessly to decipher the alien technology. "There's always a weakness," she muttered, her eyes bleary from lack of sleep. "We just have to find it." Across the ocean, in a hidden bunker beneath London, MI6 agent Zora Malik coordinated with resistance cells worldwide. "We may be outgunned," she told her team, "but we're not outsmarted. Humanity's greatest strength has always been our ability to adapt and overcome." As the first day of the invasion drew to a close, the Zarkai believed victory was within their grasp. But they had underestimated the species they sought to conquer. Humanity, with its back against the wall, was preparing to show the universe what it was truly capable of. In the depths of space, unnoticed by both humans and Zarkai, a small probe drifted silently. Its sensors recorded the unfolding conflict, transmitting data to a distant, unknown recipient. The battle for Earth had begun, but its consequences would reach far beyond the boundaries of the solar system. As night fell across the planet, millions huddled in fear, mourning their losses and dreading what the next day might bring. But in secret labs, hidden bunkers, and makeshift command centers, the seeds of resistance were taking root. Humanity was bloodied but unbowed, ready to fight for its very existence. Krelvor, confident in his impending victory, retired to his quarters. "Soon," he mused, "this world will be just another jewel in the Zarkai crown." But on the planet below, as Jack Harper loaded his rifle and Sarah Chen pored over alien data, a new chapter in human history was about to be written. A chapter that would show the galaxy that humanity was a force to be reckoned with. The invasion had begun, but the true battle was yet to come. The resistance. Dawn broke over a changed Earth. Smoke rose from the ruins of once proud cities, and Zarkai ships hung in the sky like dark stars. But as Admiral Krelvor prepared for what he thought would be a swift conclusion to the invasion, he was about to learn a harsh lesson about human tenacity. In her underground lab, Dr. Sarah Chen had barely slept. Her eyes were red-rimmed, but alight with excitement. "I found something," she announced to her team of international scientists. "The Zarkai communication systems. They're not as alien as we thought." Sarah pulled up a holographic display, pointing to a series of oscillating waves. "See this pattern? It's similar to our own quantum encryption methods, just far more advanced. But if we can crack it, we could listen in on their transmissions," finished Dr. Yuki Tanaka, a Japanese cryptologist. "Maybe even interfere with them." Across the Atlantic, in the forests outside of Warsaw, Jack Harper led a group of civilians through a grueling training session. "Remember," he shouted as they ran an obstacle course, "the Zarkai think they're superior. Their arrogance is our advantage." Nearby, a group of engineers and hackers worked tirelessly to retrofit human technology with scavenged alien tech. Leading them was Mikhail Volkov, a former Russian cyber warfare specialist. "We may not be able to match their firepower," Mikhail grinned, holding up a modified tablet, "but we can sure as hell mess with their systems." In orbit, Krelvor frowned at the latest reports. "How are they still resisting?" he snarled. "They should have been crushed by now." Science Officer Zix shifted nervously. "It appears we underestimated their adaptability, Admiral. They're learning to use our own technology against us at an unprecedented rate." Krelvor's scales darkened with rage. "Impossible. They're primitives." But the evidence was undeniable. All across the globe, humans were fighting back with a ferocity that shocked the Zarkai. In the streets of Rio de Janeiro, Resistance fighters used guerrilla tactics to ambush alien patrols. In the Australian outback, Aboriginal trackers led Zarkai units into deadly traps. Perhaps most worryingly for Krulvor, reports were coming in of human hackers breaching Zarkai firewalls. It started small, malfunctioning doors, flickering lights, but it was escalating rapidly. In London, Zora Malik coordinated a daring raid on a Zarkai command post. Remember the plan, she told her team over encrypted comms. We're not just fighting for ourselves. We're fighting for every human on this planet. The raid was a success. Not only did they destroy the post, but they also captured vital alien technology. Within hours, the tech was in Sarah Chen's hands, providing crucial insights into Zarkai systems. But the aliens weren't idle. They responded to human resistance with brutal force, leveling entire city blocks to crush pockets of fighters. The death toll mounted, and refugees streamed into hastily constructed camps. In one such camp outside the ruins of Berlin, a young girl named Eva huddled with her family. "Why don't they just leave us alone?" she sobbed. Her father, his face gaunt with hunger but his eyes fierce, held her close. "Because, sweetheart, they don't understand what it means to be human. But they will." As if in answer to his words, the camp's ancient radio crackled to life. President Crawford's voice, tired but unbowed, addressed the world. "My fellow humans, these are dark times. We face an enemy unlike any we've encountered before. But I want you to remember something. Throughout our history, humanity has faced extinction many times. Ice ages, plagues, world wars. Each time, we've not just survived, but emerged stronger. The Zarkai think they know us, think they can predict us, but they don't understand the human spirit. We are adaptable, we are resilient, and most importantly, we never, ever give up. Stay strong, Earth. The tide is about to turn." As the speech concluded, a cheer went up from the camp. It was echoed in hideouts, bunkers, and resistance cells across the planet. Humanity was bloodied, but far from beaten. In her lab, Sarah Chen made a breakthrough. "We've done it," she exclaimed, her fatigue forgotten. "We can interfere with their ship-to-ship communications." The news spread like wildfire through the resistance network. In Poland, Jack Harper grinned as he received the update. "Time to show these lizards what humans can really do," he said, readying his team for their most daring mission yet. Zara Malik's voice crackled over the secure channel. "All teams, prepare for Operation Blindside. We hit them hard, we hit them fast, and we show them that Earth is not for the taking." As night fell, resistance cells worldwide launched coordinated attacks on Zarkai positions. In New York, fighters used the subway tunnels to outmaneuver alien patrols. In Tokyo, hackers scrambled Zarkai targeting systems, causing their weapons to fire harmlessly into the sky. But the true masterstroke came from Jack Harper's team. Using the intel provided by Sarah, they managed to board a grounded Zarkai shuttle. With Mikhail's tech wizardry, they bypassed the alien security systems and took control of the ship. "I can't believe I'm saying this," Jack laughed as the shuttle lifted off. "But let's take this fight to the stars." On the Celestial Hammer, alarms blared as human-controlled Zarkai ships appeared on the scanners. Krulvor watched in disbelief as his own vessels opened fire on the fleet. "Impossible," he whispered, his confidence shaken for the first time. How could they have learned so quickly? As battles raged in orbit and on the ground, the tide of war began to shift. The Zarkai, for all their advanced technology, found themselves increasingly outmaneuvered by human ingenuity and determination. In the refugee camp, Ava and her family watched streaks of light crisscross the night sky. "Are we winning?" Ava asked, hope creeping into her voice for the first time in days. Her father squeezed her hand. "We're fighting, sweetheart." And for humans, that's the same thing. As the battle raged on, a message was broadcasting from Earth on all frequencies, aimed not just at the Zarkai, but at the stars beyond. "To any who can hear this, we are humanity. We will not go quietly. We will not surrender. And to those who would threaten us, know this: Earth is not your prize. It is our home, and we will defend it to our last breath." The message echoed across space, a defiant shout against the vastness of the cosmos. Humanity had been challenged, and now it was answering in a voice that would shake the very foundations of the galaxy. The resistance had truly begun, and the Zarkai were about to learn why so many had underestimated humanity at their peril. The turning point. As the sun rose on the 7th day of the invasion, the Zarkai found themselves in an unprecedented situation. What should have been a swift conquest had turned into a grueling war of attrition. Admiral Krelvor paced the bridge of the Celestial Hammer, his scales a turbulent mix of colors reflecting his inner turmoil. "How?" he hissed. "How are these primitives resisting us so effectively?" Science Officer Zix approached cautiously, her datapad clutched tightly. "Admiral, I've been analyzing their tactics. The humans, they're not fighting like any species we've encountered before. They're unpredictable, adaptable. They're turning our own technology against us in ways we never imagined possible." Krelvor's eyes narrowed. "Explain." Meanwhile, deep in the Rocky Mountains, Sarah Chen stood before a gathering of the world's brightest minds. The cavernous bunker hummed with energy as scientists, engineers, and strategists from every corner of the globe worked tirelessly. "We've made significant progress in understanding Zarkai tech," Sarah announced, her voice echoing through the chamber. "But we've also discovered something crucial about their biology." She pulled up a holographic display of a Zarkai's internal structure. Their nervous system is highly sensitive to certain electromagnetic frequencies. If we can generate a strong enough pulse at the right frequency, we could incapacitate them without destroying their tech, finished Dr. Tanaka, his eyes wide with realization. Across the world, in the dense jungles of Vietnam, Jack Harper led a daring raid on a Zarkai ground base. His team moved silently through the underbrush, their movements masked by the cacophony of jungle life. "Remember," Jack whispered to his diverse group of fighters, "we're not just soldiers anymore. We're the spark that'll light the fire of rebellion across the planet." As they approached the alien structure, Mikhail Volkov's voice crackled in their earpieces. "I've tapped into their security feeds. You've got a clear path to the central chamber. But be careful. Their internal sensors are still active." The team moved swiftly, years of various combat experiences blending seamlessly. They'd reached the heart of the base, where a massive device pulsed with ethereal energy. "That's it," Jack breathed. "Their planetary shield generator. Mikhail, you're up." Mikhail's fingers flew over his custom-built interface, a marriage of human intuition and salvaged alien tech. "I'm in their systems, overriding safety protocols. Now." The generator's hum changed pitch, rising to a painful whine. Alien klaxons blared as the Zarkai realized something was wrong, but it was too late. With a blinding flash, the generator overloaded, sending a cascade failure through the planetary shield network. In orbit, Krelvor watched in horror as the impenetrable barrier protecting his fleet flickered and died. "Impossible," he roared. "Raise the shields. Scramble all fighters." But the humans were ready. The moment the shield fell, a barrage of missiles launched from hidden silos across the globe. Most were intercepted, but enough got through to cause significant damage to the Zarkai fleet. Sarah's voice came through on the global resistance channel. "All units, the E-impulse devices are ready. Activate on my mark." Across Earth, makeshift emitters powered up. In cities and forests, in deserts and tundras, humanity prepared to strike back. "Now," Sarah commanded. A wave of invisible energy washed over the planet. Zarkai soldiers crumpled, their nervous systems overloaded. Their ships, suddenly pilotless, careened out of control. Some crashed, while others drifted aimlessly in orbit. On the Celestial Hammer, Krelvor fought to stay conscious as his crew writhed in agony around him. Through blurred vision, He saw human ships rising from the planet's surface, commandeered Zarkai vessels mixed with hastily retrofitted Earth craft. This cannot be happening, he gasped before succumbing to the pulse. As the Zarkai forces lay incapacitated, humanity sprung into action. Resistance fighters emerged from hiding, securing alien weapons and technology. Scientists and engineers swarmed over downed ships, eager to unlock their secrets. In London, Zara Malik coordinated the global counteroffensive. All units move in and secure Zarkai strongholds. Remember, we're not conquerors. We're liberators. The next few hours were a flurry of activity as humanity reclaimed its planet. The tables had turned, and now it was the Zarkai who found themselves prisoners on an alien world. As the dust settled, President Crawford addressed the world once more. My fellow humans, today we have achieved what many thought impossible. We have stood against an advanced alien threat and emerged victorious. But let us not give in to hubris or cruelty. We must show the Zarkai and the galaxy at large that humanity's strength lies not just in our ability to fight, but in our capacity for mercy and understanding. In the refugee camp outside Berlin, Ava and her family emerged from their shelter, blinking in the sunlight. The looming shapes of Zarkai ships still dotted the sky, but now they hung silent and powerless. Is it over? Ava asked, her voice trembling with hope. Her father smiled, tears in his eyes. No, sweetheart, it's just beginning. As human forces secured the last of the Zarkai positions, Sarah Chen and her team turned their attention to the alien leadership. Admiral Krelvor, still weak from the E-impulse, was brought before a hastily assembled council of Earth's leaders. Sarah stepped forward, her eyes meeting Krelvor's. You came to our world thinking us primitive and weak, she said, her voice firm but not unkind. You sought to conquer us. Instead, you've given us the keys to the stars. Krelvor's scales rippled with a mix of fear and grudging respect. What will you do with us? He asked. President Crawford stepped forward. That, Admiral, will depend on you. We're prepared to offer peace, to forge a new relationship between our peoples. But know this, we will never again be seen as easy prey. As news of Earth's victory spread across the galaxy, other alien civilizations watched with a mix of awe and trepidation. Humanity, it seemed, was a force to be reckoned with. In the depths of space, the probe that had witnessed the entire conflict continued its journey. Its data, carrying the story of humanity's indomitable spirit, sped towards distant stars, heralding the arrival of a new power in the cosmic arena. The invasion was over, but humanity's journey to the stars was just beginning. The galaxy would never be the same again. The counterattack. In the months following Earth's victory over the Zarkai invasion, humanity underwent a transformation unlike anything in its history. The influx of alien technology catalyzed advancements across every field, from medicine to space travel. But with this progress came a new challenge: how to move forward in a universe that now knew of Earth's existence. At the United Nations headquarters, newly rebuilt and reinforced with Zarkai tech, world leaders gathered to discuss humanity's future. The chamber buzzed with a mix of excitement and apprehension. President Crawford took the podium, her face etched with the weariness of recent battles, but her eyes bright with determination. We stand at a crossroads, she began. We've proven ourselves capable of defending our world. Now we must decide. Do we remain isolated, or do we venture out into the stars? The debate that followed was heated. Some argued for isolation, for focusing on rebuilding Earth. Others pushed for immediate expansion, striking while the galaxy still reeled from the shock of humanity's victory. In the end, a middle path was chosen. Earth would rebuild, yes, but it would also prepare for a future among the stars. Sarah Chen, now heading the newly formed Interstellar Research and Defense Initiative, IRDI, presented her findings to the Assembly. The Zarkai are not the only alien civilization out there, she explained, gesturing to a holographic map of the galaxy. From the data we've gathered, there are dozens, perhaps hundreds of spacefaring species. Some may be friendly, others not so much. Jack Harper, representing Earth's unified military forces, stepped forward. Which is why we need to be ready, he added, not just to defend, but to explore, to show the galaxy that humanity comes in peace, but is always prepared for war. As Earth geared up for its cosmic debut, the Zarkai prisoners became an unexpected source of information and assistance. Many, including Admiral Krulvor, had come to respect their former enemies and chose to cooperate in exchange for leniency. Krulvor, working closely with Sarah and her team, provided invaluable insights into galactic politics and technology. The Galactic Confederation, he explained one day, pointing to a cluster of stars, is the largest political entity in this sector. They won't be pleased to learn of your victory over us. Sarah's eyes narrowed. Are they a threat? Krulvor's scales shimmered thoughtfully. Not immediately. But they don't like unknowns, and your species has certainly proven to be unpredictable. This information spurred Earth's leaders to action. If humanity was to survive in this new galactic arena, it needed allies, resources, and a strong presence beyond its home system. The next year saw a flurry of activity as Earth prepared for its first steps into interstellar space. Shipyards, once used for ocean-going vessels, now constructed sleek spacecraft that melded human ingenuity with Zarkai technology. The first of these ships, the ESS Horizon, stood ready in Earth's orbit, a testament to how far humanity had come in so short a time. On the day of launch, millions around the world watched as the Horizon prepared to make history. Its crew, a diverse mix of Earth's best and brightest, included familiar faces: Jack Harper as security chief, Mikhail Volkov as chief engineer, and Dr. Yuki Tanaka as head of xenobiology. Commanding the mission was Captain Zura Malik, her MI6 experience deemed crucial for this journey into the unknown. As the Horizon broke free of Earth's gravity, cheers erupted across the planet. Humanity had taken its first real step into the cosmic ocean. But the journey was not without its challenges. As the Horizon ventured deeper into space, it encountered other civilizations, some curious, others hostile. The crew's diplomatic skills were put to the test as they navigated complex interstellar politics. In one particularly tense encounter, the Horizon found itself surrounded by ships of the Galactic Confederation. The alien vessels, sleek and intimidating, dwarfed the Earth ship. "This is Arbitrator Xanthor of the Galactic Confederation," a stern voice crackled over the comms. "Your presence here is unauthorized. Power down your systems and prepare to be boarded." Captain Malik exchanged glances with her crew. They had prepared for this possibility, but the reality was still daunting. "This is Captain Zura Malik of the Earth ship Horizon," she responded, her voice steady. "We come in peace and seek diplomatic relations with the Confederation." There was a pause, then Xanthor's voice returned, tinged with surprise. "Earth, the planet that defeated the Zarkai. Impossible. No primitive world could achieve such a feat." Jack stepped forward, a glint in his eye. "With all due respect, Arbitrator," he said, "I think you'll find that humanity specializes in achieving the impossible." What followed was a tense negotiation. The Horizon's crew demonstrated their technological capabilities, their knowledge of galactic affairs, thanks to Krulvor's teachings, and their unwavering determination. Slowly, the Confederation's stance began to shift from hostility to cautious curiosity. As news of the encounter spread across subspace channels, other alien civilizations took notice. The species that had defeated the dreaded Zarkai was now making waves in galactic politics. Some saw potential allies, others saw threats to be eliminated. Back on Earth, Sarah Chen and her team monitored the Horizon's progress with bated breath. "They're doing it," she murmured, watching as the ship navigated through one challenge after another. They're showing the galaxy who we really are. In the refugee camp outside Berlin, now transformed into a thriving community, Ava watched the stars with her family. "Do you think we'll ever go out there?" she asked, her eyes wide with wonder. Her father smiled, remembering the dark days of the invasion and marveling at how far they'd come. "Someday," he said. "And when we do, we'll bring with us the most powerful force in the universe." "What's that?" Ava asked. "Hope," he replied, "and the unbreakable spirit of humanity." As the horizon continued its journey, Earth prepared for a new era. The planet was no longer just a pale blue dot in the cosmic ocean. It was a beacon of resilience, a symbol of the indomitable human spirit. The galaxy had underestimated humanity once. It would not make that mistake again. The Reckoning. 5 years had passed since the ESS Horizon's maiden voyage, and the galaxy had changed dramatically. Earth, once an isolated planet on the fringes of known space, had become a significant player in galactic affairs. The tenacity and adaptability that had allowed humanity to repel the Zarkay invasion now served them well in navigating the complex web of interstellar politics. On a space station orbiting a neutral world, representatives from across the galaxy gathered for an unprecedented summit. The massive station, a marvel of engineering, was itself a testament to the new era of cooperation between species. At its heart was a grand chamber where delegates from 100 worlds sat in tiers, their forms as varied as the stars themselves. Dr. Sarah Chen, now Earth's ambassador to the Galactic Confederation, stood at the podium. Despite the years, her eyes still burned with the same intensity that had driven her during the invasion. "Distinguished delegates," she began, her voice carrying across the chamber, "we stand at a crossroads. The balance of power in our galaxy is shifting, and with it comes both great opportunity and great danger." The chamber buzzed with murmurs. It was no secret that Earth's rapid advancement had unsettled many established powers. Some saw humans as upstarts, others as potential saviors against looming threats. "Humanity comes before you not as conquerors, but as partners," Sarah continued. "We've learned much in our short time among the stars, but we have much more to learn. And we believe much to offer." "Humanity comes before you not as conquerors, but as partners," Sarah continued. "We've learned much in our short time among the stars, but we have much more to learn. And we believe much to offer." As Sarah spoke, on the far side of the galaxy, another drama was unfolding. The ESS Horizon, under the command of Captain Zora Malik, had stumbled upon something that would change everything. "Are you seeing this?" Mikhail Volkov's voice was filled with awe as he stared at the sensor readings. Captain Malik leaned over his console, her eyes widening. "Is that what I think it is?" Before them, hidden in the heart of a nebula, was a massive structure. It pulsed with energy readings unlike anything they'd ever encountered. "It's ancient," Dr. Tanaka said, his voice hushed, "possibly predating all known civilizations." Jack Harper, his hair now streaked with gray, but his eyes as sharp as ever, frowned. "And if we found it, others might have too," Zara finished. She straightened, decision made. "Mikhail, get me a secure channel to Earth. Priority Alpha." Back at the summit, Sarah's speech was interrupted by an aide urgently whispering in her ear. Her expression remained neutral, but those who knew her well could see the slight widening of her eyes. "Esteemed colleagues," she said, her tone measured, "I've just received word of a discovery that concerns us all. With your permission, I'd like to share this information." The chamber's mood shifted from diplomatic politeness to tense anticipation as Sarah relayed the Horizon's findings. The revelation of an ancient, powerful artifact sent shockwaves through the assembly. "This discovery belongs to all of us," Sarah concluded. "Humanity proposes a joint expedition, open to all races, to study and understand this artifact. Together, we can ensure it's used for the benefit of all, not as a weapon for conquest." The chamber erupted into chaos. Some delegates shouted accusations, claiming this was a human ploy for power. Others called for immediate action to secure the artifact. In the midst of the uproar, a cold, familiar voice cut through the noise. How convenient that humans should make this discovery. The crowd parted to reveal Admiral Krulvor. The former Zarkai commander, now a reluctant advisor to the Confederation, stepped forward. One must wonder if this artifact truly exists, or if it's merely a human trick to consolidate power. Sarah met Krulvor's gaze evenly. Admiral, you of all people should know the dangers of underestimating humanity. We've extended our hand in friendship. But make no mistake, we will not allow this discovery to be used against us or anyone else. As the debate raged, tensions across the galaxy reached a boiling point. Some races began mobilizing fleets, either to seize the artifact or to prevent others from doing so. The specter of an interstellar war loomed large. On Earth, President Crawford convened an emergency meeting of global leaders. "We didn't come this far to watch the galaxy tear itself apart," she declared. "Humanity must take a stand." The decision was made. Earth would lead a coalition of willing races to secure the artifact, not for themselves, but for all sentient life. As ships from a dozen worlds converged on the nebula, the ESS Horizon stood its ground. Captain Malik's voice rang out across all channels. "This is Captain Zura Malik of Earth. We stand ready to defend this discovery with our lives if necessary. But we also extend an invitation to all. Join us in uncovering the secrets of our shared cosmic heritage. The choice is yours." For a tense moment, it seemed that battle was inevitable. But then, slowly, ships began to power down weapons. Diplomatic channels buzzed with activity as, one by one, races chose cooperation over conflict. In the heart of the nebula, as representatives from across the galaxy worked together to unlock the artifact's secrets, a new era dawned. Humanity, the newcomers, the upstarts, had become the mediators, the peacemakers. Years later, as the first joint galactic exploration fleet prepared to venture beyond known space, powered by technology derived from the artifact, Sarah Chen stood on the observation deck of Earth's new space elevator. Beside her was Ava, now a young woman and one of Earth's brightest synorchaeologists. "Did you ever imagine it would turn out like this?" Ava asked, gazing at the stars. Sarah smiled, remembering the dark days of the invasion and the long journey that followed. "No," she admitted, "but that's the beauty of humanity. We don't just face the impossible, we redefine it." As the fleet departed, carrying with it the hopes and dreams of a united galaxy, a message beamed out to the cosmos. "To all who can hear this, we are humanity. We come not as conquerors, but as explorers and friends. Our history is one of struggle and triumph, of falling and rising again. We've learned that our greatest strength lies not in our technology or our weapons, but in our spirit, our capacity for adaptation, cooperation, and hope. To those we've yet to meet, we extend our hand in friendship. To those who would threaten peace, know that we stand ready to defend not just ourselves, but all who value freedom and cooperation. The stars are not our destination. They are our beginning. Together, let us write the next chapter of our cosmic story." As the message echoed across the vastness of space, Earth stood proud, a beacon of hope in a universe full of wonders and challenges yet to be discovered. The invasion that had once threatened to end humanity had instead propelled them to the forefront of a new galactic age. The future, vast and unknown, awaited, and humanity, with its unbreakable spirit and newfound allies, was ready to face it head-on.